Hi everybody, welcome to Martin's School of Cooking. I am Chef April and we are here in the kitchens here at Heritage Square, Martin's Supermarkets. And I am here just to kind of show you some recipes. If there's something that, maybe a special diet that you're needing to follow, maybe for this new year 2019 and you really don't know how to start, or it just seems like a big mountain in front of you, I want to give you at least 3 different recipes and kind of talk you through some other things to kind of help you along that road. So this is really near and dear to me because I am actually, this is the way that I eat. I have to eat because I actually have autoimmune diseases, a couple of them. And so I am gluten-free and I'm almost 100% dairy-free as well. And so these are definitely things that I usually eat on a regular basis. And so that's why it's become really easy for me to share that as well. I'm gonna turn this down for one moment here. And then we are gonna get started. I just don't want it to burn on us. So first off, what we're gonna do is we're gonna start off with some breakfast items. So this is a chicken and apple sausage patty. So that's what we're gonna be making. Lots of noises in here today. So what we're gonna do, what I have is some fresh apple. So apple, of course, is great for your fiber. And you don't have to skin them because the skin on an apple is really great for fiber as well. And you're really not gonna taste that when we start kind of cooking them and get that going. So we're gonna get that going here. So I've got the apple just all nice and chopped up. And in this, we're gonna add some garlic powder. And it's about a teaspoon, some oregano, add that. Some thyme, add that. Also some fresh parsley. Okay, it's about 3 tablespoons of fresh parsley. And then I have, you can either ground your orange chicken breast or you can actually buy it here at Martin's, and we already have it nice and ground, and it's actually on sale this week too. So I made half of this last night. That's why I'm only using half of the package right now. So I kind of prepared some ahead of time. But you're gonna add this to our mixture. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna mix this all up. Now there's a couple different ways that you could do this. You could actually, depending on the time frame and the way that you're cooking, if you're gonna bake these, which is typically how I do it, then you can pre-cook the apples. Like you can saute them with all those like fresh herbs and stuff in there, and you can saute them and then maybe put them in the refrigerator, and then for the morning take them out and then heat them back up for breakfast and they're ready to go. Or you can freeze them that way as well. This is a really good item that you can freeze ahead of time. Make and then freeze. But for this, what I'm gonna do is, I've already got all this mixed together. We didn't add any salt or pepper though, so I'm gonna add a little of that. So I've got some kosher salt and a little bit of black pepper. Mix that up again. Okay, and then what I'm gonna do, you don't even really have to touch them, but I've actually got a pan heated. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sear both sides, and then what you can do is we're gonna put them in a pan and then throw those into the oven. So take out a nice amount here, make them into like little patties, and they're nice and chunky, which is pretty delicious. And I've got a pan here, and in this pan, I've actually got coconut oil. So, and here's the container, it's coconut oil and ghee, so it's a blend of that. So it's a little butter and oil, which makes it a really good flavor. So I'm gonna get those kind of cooking, get those started for us. I do have a couple done, so I'm gonna show you those here in just a moment. But while those are cooking, get those in there. All right, so now we've got little patties. Of course, you can always make more depending on the size of your pan. Wish you could smell it. It already smells really good in here, doesn't it? Oh, yeah.
Smells awfully tasty.
Okay, this is also a really good option for paleo because there's nothing with bread in there as well. That's keeping them together. So again, if you're a paleo, this is a pretty good option as well. You have maybe a little bit of carbs from the apple and such, but you can even cut that in half if you want. But otherwise, with the chicken, it's going to be good to go. So we're going to set this off to the side. And the next thing we're going to do, again, is breakfast. And we're going to make one of my very, very favorites. So my kids love pancakes. And I can't eat like the regular pancakes. And so I have this other recipe that my in-laws kind of taught me. And so I have done this on a regular basis, and I love them. And they're big and fluffy and gorgeous, and you can still dress them with any kind of syrup or whatever that you want. My favorite is the blueberry, but we're gonna be able to try that here in a minute. So this is 4 simple ingredients, and you can double this batch, of course, but this will make at least maybe 6 to 8 like pretty good size pancakes. So I have 2 bowls here, one for a dry and one for a wet mix. What I got here is, you can actually do this with regular flour as well if you don't have any type of an allergy, or if you're not trying to go down this route. But otherwise, I use this gluten-free flour. And you're going to use a 1/2 cup of this. Put that into our dry bowl. I'm going to do 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Okay, add that into it. And then I have got, this is Greek yogurt, and it's plain, so be careful. If you do want to add a little flavor to it, you can always get vanilla or like a certain flavor. But again, then you're kind of increasing the amount of sugar that you're going to be taking in. So it's best to maybe put on fresh fruit or something later. So traditional plain Greek yogurt is going to be the best one for this. And you're going to have a whole cup of this. And this is going to go into the wet. Okay. And then we're going to add 1 egg. So you've got 2 ingredients in both. The one thing I do like to do is I like to add a little bit of salt to this mixture as well. It just, after you cook them, it just needs a little bit of a kick with flavor. So I'm going to add that now. Okay, so I've got my wet mixture. You always add wet to dry whenever you're doing any kind of baking as well. So get that mixture nice and mixed up there. Kind of mix up those dry ingredients a little bit. Now I'm going to go ahead and flip these sausages. I want you to see them. Here, you can tell they're starting to cook around the edges there. You can see that chicken starting to cook. That really pretty color too. Oh, and it smells so good in here with all those like fresh herbs and everything, and the apple, the sweetness of the apple. It's really, really great flavor. All right, so back to our yummy pancakes. So we've got our wet to our dry. You make like a little hole in the middle. Okay. And then just kind of carefully add all this together. Now I'll be able to send these recipes and we can post them, right, Elise? Mm-hmm. So then you can actually follow these and get these recipes. Hopefully you like all the ones that we're kind of doing. I'll give you some inspiration. And let me know if you have a favorite maybe recipe that that you want to share, you know, that maybe is gluten-free or it's really great for autoimmune diseases. Please feel free to share that as you're watching too. I'd love to hear those ideas. So as you can tell with the baking soda, it's starting to bubble and kind of rise, and that's what's really going to give the air to these really great fluffy pancakes. The key to this though is for your pan, because you want them to rise and really stay fluffy. You don't want to flatten them. And so you do want to keep it on a low heat, because then they're going to cook too fast and the middles won't be done. So I added just, again, a little bit of that coconut oil. I'm just going to do some little mini dollar-sized pancakes, right? Those are pretty fun. Okay, I'll just do 5 there. My pan is a little bit of a dip in there, but you'll be able to tell here that you're going to start to bubble them around the edges, and it'll get brown. And so then you'll know that it'll be time to kind of flip them. So we've got our sausages here. You want to make sure that these are cooked all the way through, you know, to completed temperature. Make sure that you're not going to be cooking or eating any raw chicken. You don't want that. Make sure they're going to be completely done.
Okay, Steve Kosick wants to know, I don't know if we know offhand, about how many calories per serving you think.
For the sausage or for
I think for the pancakes.
For the pancakes. How many calories a serving? Well, if you do 1 cup in this yogurt, we have about 220 calories. There's about 130 calories in the flour, and then a little bit in the egg as well. So, I don't know, I would say maybe for 3 pancakes, because everything is kind of divided up and mixed up together, maybe about 100 calories, maybe a pancake or so. But you're getting your probiotics as well. You're getting a little bit of that protein from the egg. So, I don't know, I think it's a really good, you know, option, especially if you're
And you get, I mean, if you look at the mix, we've only made 5 pancakes. We still have this much in the bowl here. So, I mean, you do get a lot out of that recipe.
You do. You really, really do. All right.
And it's not the empty calories that you're going to have from something else.
That's right. Super important. Yeah, you don't want to have those empty calories, for sure. You want things that are going to benefit your body. And help build your body, because whatever you're eating, whatever you're putting into your mouth, you're either healing or you're hurting yourself. So if you can think about that every time you're eating, like, is this helping me or is this hurting me? Those are really good ways, you know, to kind of think about it. Especially, you know, not that you shouldn't be on a diet, you should be in a lifestyle change. So diets are really great, you know, fads and things to kind of jump on and off of. But that's what it is. It's like a train. People will get on and off. But if you change and make it more of a lifestyle change and start to incorporate healthier things into your diet, or, you know, maybe you have to for health reasons like I do, then, you know, it's a change that it's going to be better off for you down the long run, for sure. So we're going to keep this breakfast kind of going here, so I'm not pausing too long on the camera. But we've got our pancakes going. They're rising. They're bubbling up. They're not going to take much longer. I do have it on low, though, just to kind of help with the time frame. So we're going to go ahead. So breakfast is cooking. Smells glorious in here. Really, really delicious. And over here, what I've got, so this is my amazing KitchenAid crock pot, and I love it because I can saute in here. So I can do even from rice to yogurt, but then I can also saute and do soups. So this thing is amazing, and I love it. So I use it all the time here in the cooking school. So what we're gonna do first, this soup is seriously the best chicken soup that you will have. And it's not your mommy's chicken soup, so it has a little bit of a twist on it. It has a lot of anti-inflammatory ingredients in there as well, and everything is really, it's whole foods. It's really nourishing foods. So it just takes maybe 5 or so minutes to prep, and it's super easy. So I actually prepped this last night. And what's going to go first in the crock pot, or if you don't have something like this, you can just do it on a regular pan on the stove. But what you want to do is you want to do your mirepoix. And mirepoix is simply carrots, celery, and onion. Basically, you double up your onion compared to your celery and carrots. That's why you always have more. So it's called a mirepoix. So we're going to add our mirepoix, and into this pot, again, I have our same coconut and butter ghee in here. So I'm gonna add this, and you can hear it start to sizzle already. This is a great soup, especially for this weekend. It's gonna get so cold. If you have anybody that's sick in your house, again, this is another fantastic one to have on the stove, and where people can just kind of, you know, go for it and just kind of eat throughout the day. If I have people sick around me, or even here at the cooking school, if there's a bunch of people that are sick, you know, sometimes I'll make this and put it in the break room, and so people can just kind of eat it throughout the day too. So we got to keep people healthy around here for sure. So in this pot here, this is just our celery, carrots, and onion again, and this is just going to kind of sweat a little bit. And we're actually going to add in these other items as well. So I've got fresh chopped garlic, and then I've got ginger, and I've got turmeric. And turmeric is really the key ingredient for this. Turmeric is that orange. Usually people always get it in a powder, but it's awesome because you can buy it raw. And this is actually the root here. I'm going to add this in really quick, Elise, and get all this going in here. Mix this up. I'm going to put the cover on, and we're going to let this sweat for just a moment. Now, this turmeric root is super, super simple because it's similar to something like a ginger, and what you're going to do is you're going to peel it just like you would a ginger root. And this is the simplest way, is that you get a, I'm going to turn this one off here now. You get a spoon, and what you do is you just kind of peel this off. And you can do the same thing to ginger root. And then you expose all that. What you do then is you get, like, if you have a microplane. So this is all the skin, you don't want that. And you just want basically all this pulp and the juice of it. Get a microplane, and you're just gonna grate it. And it grates super easy. However much you need. And then this is now fresh turmeric that is fantastic for any kind of inflammation that you have, autoimmune issues or anything like that. I will put this in my coffee, more of the ground powder stuff I'll put in my coffee and things like that. Any kind of baking item, I always throw turmeric in there because I love it. Now I love the flavor. And so from here, you're gonna go from there into your soup. And that's what's gonna give it kind of that orange hue as well. So that is already in here. We're gonna let this sweat for just a moment. Smells so good already.
Do we want to flip our pancakes?
Yes, we are over there. All right, let that go. Okay, back to breakfast here. They're bubbled up. You can tell they got that really yummy, gorgeous crust on there. Okay, let's check our sausages. Oh yeah. So I think we're gonna start plating it. Okay. Alrighty. I'm gonna make sure. They're so nice and fluffy. And then when you put that butter in the pan, it just kind of crusts them up, so it has that little bite to them as well. And again, like I was telling you, this is actually my favorite. It's a blueberry syrup. It has no sugar added as well, so it's just plain blueberries. And then you can add that on top. It smells so good in here. I wish you all could actually just come and try it. But I will give you the recipes, and I really, really would love for you to go ahead and try those out. So we've got breakfast. All right, let's go ahead and finish our soup. Hopefully you liked that option. Let me know if you did. Give me a thumbs up. I'd love to hear your ideas as well. All right, now you can tell in here that it's starting to change colors because of that turmeric, that ginger there. And then the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add some chicken breast. This is just raw. We're gonna add that right in here. I don't wanna add all that juice though, so we're gonna not add, just pour it in. These are a couple extra chicken breasts I had just in the fridge. I wanna use them up. Soup is a really great way to use things like that up. Okay, while you have your chicken in there, the next thing you're gonna wanna do is add in your chicken broth. And you can actually use low sodium chicken broth if you like. You are gonna wanna season this up again later on, but, or you can maybe use 1 low sodium and 1 regular, whatever you prefer. We're gonna add 2 of these. And you're gonna let this cook for probably about 20 minutes or so. And then when this is, when it comes to a boil, that chicken's gonna keep cooking in there. But when it comes to a boil, then is when you're gonna add in the option of either your couscous. You're gonna add 1 cup of couscous, which is then gonna expand and multiply. This is actually just a, it's a pasta, it's an Israeli pasta. And this is pretty cool because it has a couple different colors, has 3 different colors in there. No taste difference, but it's just with the colors. And then, but if you are gluten-free, again, like I am, then I actually use quinoa. And this is a great substitute. It is a gluten-free item. And it's really gonna, it expands as well and kind of gives you that same, you're gonna get all the benefits of everything else in here, but you're not gonna have, you can actually eat it because it's gluten-free. So again, you have those 2 options here. So again, you're gonna wanna bring this to a boil. When that comes to a boil, then you're gonna add in whatever option that you want and then let it go for about 30 minutes and you are good to go. Take off the lid, then you're gonna add in some peas, just to kind of add like a little pop of color. And again, another vegetable is really nice to have in there. So add in that and then you're good to go. You can also take out the chicken at that time and you can shred it apart and just put it on a platter and just with 2 forks, just shred it apart. And then you will have a shredded chicken that is in there as well. So I'm gonna show you the finished product. Again, I made some last night.
April, have you ever shredded chicken in your KitchenAid mixer?
I haven't.
Oh my gosh, it's life-changing. Yep, I do it with a dip. Oh yeah, that's beautiful.
So you see all those, see how that couscous kind of just grows in? So it becomes like a pasta. So you're not having that typical noodles, but this one is so flavorful. And again, it's really good for this time of year to fighting away the colds. And then it has that double factor too of being an autoimmune buster. So I don't know if there's any other questions or not. Otherwise, hopefully we inspired you a little bit today. Remember, it's not, don't make it just a diet, make it more into a lifestyle before you actually have to make those changes. Start them now. Just start one step at a time. That's all you need. If you have any questions, I'm always here at the cooking school, so you're free to email me or come find me here. You're welcome to do that. Otherwise, we have a list of cooking classes that are coming up. I am going to do an autoimmune class, I believe, in March, so stay tuned for that. Otherwise, February, we have some really great classes for a couples class. We have a date night class. We have a cookie decorating class coming up as well. So everyone stay warm this weekend. Make some great soup and be safe. Hope you all have a good day. Thank you for joining us.